All right, welcome back to Cage Side. Coming off of a pretty good UFC pay-per-view event, UFC 258, Usman versus Burns. But today, I have Christian Bobe.
Yep.
The name, man. You're killing me with the name just because it sounds like Bobe in my head. When I read it, I want to say Bobe.
People have been
that's
calling
weird
me everything my whole life.
Yeah.
Bobby. I've been wrestling for a while, so the tournaments, they'll say like anything on the announcing. I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah.
It's Bobe.
Yeah. Well, it's a unique last name, but I think once we got it, it'll stick in the brain.
Sure.
Well, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
It's great to have you.
It. Yep.
Yeah. So you come from like a local couple teams of fighting gyms that where your face is constantly on Instagram because everybody posts each other's stuff and everybody's very kind of celebratory towards like everybody's success. But it seems like everybody has this kind of respect for you and who you're going to become as a fighter. Yeah, which is pretty cool and pretty exciting. How's that?
I mean, I think it's really because I work hard. I really put in the work, and that's one thing that everybody says that is a bit different about me. You know, I don't have a separate job. Like I don't have a part-time job making money. I'm an amateur and I'm in the gym training like a UFC fighter, like Sean Brady. Yeah. He's in there 3 times a day. I'm in there 3 times a day. And I think that really is what sets me apart from most. But I love the love. Like it makes me feel great. And it what's the word? It just shows it, and it kind of boosts me a bit. Like, you know, this is a hard sport, and when you're getting love at like this as an amateur, it makes me feel like, you know, I can really do this and be in it for the long run.
So it's a type of sport that you can't really take lightly, right? Like, no. I mean, you can, but it shows in the career that you end up having. So take me back a little bit. I know you used to be a wrestler or jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, wrestler. So I actually wanted to get into this. I was thinking of this on the way here. It's deeper than just the wrestling. That was my entry into martial arts, but you know, it all starts really. My dad, my grandpa, my uncle are really, really big boxing fans. Okay. And they've been since before I was born. I remember them telling me stories about them watching fights when they were kids with their dad. But that's really
and they're Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's in the blood.
Yeah, Trinidad's actually my dad's favorite fighter. But
tell him that's the shirt that I wore for every fight.
Oh yeah, I'll tell him. He'll probably watch.
Yeah, and so you know, that's like the one fighter. I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
that's the one fighter that like growing up, I was not obsessed with, but maybe obsessed with.
My dad.
But like when that guy won, then I could like sleep tight for like the next couple months until the next fight. It was like it was such a big deal in Puerto Rico. I was already here when that happened. But anyway, so yeah, boxing's in the Puerto Rican blood. So I'm sure they rode you hard about it.
So yeah, exactly. That's what next thing I was gonna say. So I remember being young. This was before I wrestled, before I did anything. They would always beg me to box. Always like, yo, get into the gym, get into a boxing gym. And I never really wanted to. I wanted to play football. I played every sport when I was younger. But back then it was football that I wanted to go to the NFL. But I played baseball, football mostly. And then I started wrestling, which was my entry into martial arts. Mm-hmm. Wrestled, I don't really remember how long. I think I started in 5th grade. I started wrestling. Okay. Wrestled all throughout middle school, high school. Then I started doing college a little bit. But college was not for me at all. Okay. Could not stand college.
College itself or
just the school? I didn't like high school either, like just the schoolwork and stuff. I'm not a school guy. Yeah. I really wanted to just go to college just to wrestle. But right when I graduated, like around that time, I met this guy, Dom DeMarco. I was wrestling at Camden County a little bit, and he told me about webs, that's how I found out about webs. But also around that time, I met this kid, Christian Cardo, who is a boxer he fights out of Philly. He's 17-1. Me and him got really, really close. Like, he's one of my best friends now. But I think he was maybe like 13-0, 14-0 at the time. Okay. Started hanging out a lot.
Was he going to school or something with you? Or how did you meet him?
I met him through my brother. My brother, mutual friends. Okay. So I met him. I started going to his fights. We would hang out after the fights. Like, he would knock somebody out, and I'd go out to eat with him or something, and then everyone would know him. Everyone would see him come take pictures. So
you start getting that.
Yeah, that's really when I was like, man, like I want this. Yeah. And I wanted to box. Like at that point, I was like, man, my dad always used to ask me to box. Maybe try boxing, but I was a wrestler. So then that's when I found like, I was like, maybe I should try MMA. But boxing was what I wanted to do. Then I met that kid, Dom DeMarco. He told me about webs. Then I went to webs, started doing jiu-jitsu a little bit. At that point I wanted to fight, but I didn't tell Jonathan that I wanted to fight. I was just kind of testing the waters because MMA is tough, and I didn't know if I could take a head kick or take an elbow or a knee to the face. I knew I was tough because wrestling's a tough ass sport. Yeah. But I didn't know if I could, boom, take an elbow and split my face open. But I was training, I was putting in the work. Then I told Jonathan that I wanted to fight. He brought me to Daniels. I remember the first day I went to Daniels was sparring. Man, I was going with killers like Sadeko. I remember he fucked me up pretty bad. I don't remember who else I went, but that's when I kind of got hooked into it.
How long had you been at Webb before you went there?
Maybe 6 months,
Okay.
maybe around that. Maybe a little less than 6 months, honestly, because I was picking it up pretty fast. My jiu-jitsu was really good already, just because I was a good wrestler. And then at Webb's, they have like the fight classes and stuff, but it's not a fight gym. His gym is a family gym. It's a jiu-jitsu. They have amazing jiu-jitsu there, but it's not like a hard fight gym like how Daniels is or my other gym, EFC. They're like straight MMA, and Daniel Gracie, he's a Gracie, he's a legend in the sport. So then I just kind of took that's where I do most of my training at now. I'm at Daniels. Jonathan's still my coach, Daniel's my coach, and then John Marquez, which you know about him.
You know his last name?
Yeah, I do.
That's good.
Yeah, but they're my 3 coaches. That's where I do all
Burrell
my training.
did not.
I know that we were talking about it. We went out to lunch. I was talking about it. That was a great podcast. I was dying the whole time.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So there's those 3 gyms that basically work together.
Yeah. So there's even more than them. So there's Webb's, there's Daniels, there's EFC, Team Taino, Eddie Torres' gym. Right. There's a couple other ones, Grindhouse, NPR. It's just a bunch.
But it's cool that you guys collaborate. So
it's awesome.
I boxed very little growing up, but I remember it was always like a gym thing. So but it was be more competitive between gyms. So like the boxer from that gym would come to your gym, and then
all get out on a sparring session.
Dude, everybody's around the ring flipping out, trying to see which gym has the toughest fighters.
Yeah,
not the same thing in MMA, it seems.
I mean, we definitely have our rival gyms, but like that's the difference about like our 5 or 6 gyms. Like it's everyone trains together already, and like. For example, Team Taino, Eddie's gym, he was training with Jonathan, and then he has his own gym, and Jonathan was training with Daniel. Daniel has his own gym. So it's like they all have their own gyms, but it's like one big thing. That's what's a little different. Like we still have our rival gyms that we don't associate with because like we're going to be fighting their guys. But we have our like small core group that is
kind of like a family of sorts. So you said you're amateur.
Yes.
Consider still.
Yep.
So what's the next? Where are you at now? And kind of what's the next deal?
So I'm fighting March 11th for CFFC.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the last amateur one. I may do one more. I really want their amateur title. That's like what the last step I want until I turn pro. Before I even started fighting, my goal was to be 5-0 with 2 amateur titles. I'm 4-1 now. I got 1 amateur title. So I would like to take theirs and then turn pro. My teammate had it last, Will Tucker. He was the last one with that amateur title, so I'd like to keep it on the team. And I would like to get this finish on March 11th. That's the really big thing for me. I want to go in there, finish this guy, and then I would like to take that momentum and turn pro.
What's his deal?
He's a wrestler. He's undefeated, 3-0.
Okay.
He's a tough guy. He's from like out in PA somewhere. I'm not really sure where he's from. But just a wrestler. He's not very dangerous on his feet. It's a fight, so everybody's kind of dangerous. But I'm confident that I can go in there and finish him on the feet. I've been doing so much striking, so much just MMA in general. Like 3 times a day. I've been doing it 2 sessions and then a pad session with my coach. Lots of privates, and then I'm around just killers, and I'm watching them doing stuff. Yeah. And my striking it's getting good. My striking it's getting to the point where like I feel more comfortable striking than I do grappling because I don't want to be like a grappler. I want to go in there and I want to get exciting finishes. That's how you build a name in this sport. So that's really what I would like to.
Where do you get the motivation, man, to work that hard? It's not common. I mean, you're a young guy. Obviously, a lot of other people are fucking around. Yeah. What makes you want to focus more on the gym than anything else?
I mean, I want to be great in this sport. I can't see myself doing anything else. Like I can't see myself working a job. I can't see myself, even like owning like a business or anything. Like I want to be a fighter. Like I want to be a world champ too. That's my motivation in itself. Like I want to be a great in this sport. I want to be one of the best in this sport. A world champ, multiple time world champ. I want to win a CFFC world title. I want to go to the UFC. I want to win their belt. I mean, it seems unrealistic now because I'm an amateur, and anybody out there that thinks it's like crazy or dumb, your opinion does not matter to me. Like I believe 110% in myself. That's another thing that sets me apart. I'm so confident in myself, and it's because I work hard as fuck. You know, I don't slack around. Ask anybody in the gym. Besides like Sean Brady, like Pat Sabatini, and like maybe a few other guys. I'm one of the hardest working guys on the team.
That's good company to be in.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
But that's really. Oh, let me get back here.
No, you're good.
That's really what That's what it really is for me. You know, I just want to be great.
Have you ever had any moments where you kind of want to slack off a little bit?
Yeah, it happens every day. You know, especially training in this sport, it's hard as hell. You know, some sessions, you know, I'm getting my ass beat for 5 rounds with just killers like Pat, who's fighting Saturday in the UFC with Eddie Torres, with Will Tucker, James Lyons. These are you guys. You maybe not even know these guys, but these are guys in our gym that are elite fighters, and they kick my ass. So yeah, there's days that I don't want to do it at all. There's days that I wake up and I'm like, man, like I just want to go back to sleep, but everybody knows you can't do that. Everybody knows that.
What's that inner talk? So when you wake up and you're like, I don't know if I want to get my ass kicked again today.
It's not. I don't really give myself that choice. You know, even if I think that I'm still gonna get the fuck up and go, and even if I don't, if I did slack off and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna lay in bed today, I'm gonna get a call at 10 o'clock when it's time to train from my coach John, and he's gonna say, where the fuck are you at? And if I'm not there, it's gonna be a problem, and it's gonna be a big problem, and he's gonna make me pay for it when I get to the gym the next day. So so
they believe in you. Obviously, they wouldn't care if you were just
100%. That's the beauty of my team. Like our coaches we're not like, it's not a coach fighter relationship, which you hear all the time from these guys like Usman and like Gaethje, like with the relationship that they have with their coaches. And that's the relationship we have, like that I have with my coaches. You know, I'm tight with them. I talk to my coach 3-4 times a day. He'll call me after training. We'll talk about training while he's outside smoking a cigar, and then I'll go back to the gym. Like today, I'm gonna go back to the gym 5 o'clock, do some pads with him, do another like his striking class. Then he's gonna call me again tonight and just, you know, shoot the shits with me. And same thing with my coach Daniel, and same thing with Jonathan. It's not a fighter coach relationship. It's like a family.
So you guys have a bubble that you kind of all have the same passion. And you share that passion.
Yeah, there's a core group of us at the gym. There's a lot of guys that are coming into the gym now because our team is really starting to blow up. But there's a core group of us that, you know, we're always in the gym no matter what. We're always training no matter what, and we have that relationship outside of the gym too. Like we hang out, go fishing, go get food together, you know, watch the fights together, that type of shit. You
got a passion for fishing, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know, or at least during COVID?
Yeah, COVID is really when it blew up. And, you know, a couple of my teammates, Pat, he's a big fisherman. Mike Gallagher, we were going like, there was a point that during COVID, every Saturday we would spar, and we'd head down to AC and fish for the whole day for like maybe like 3 months. Yeah, it was good times.
That's fun.
Good times.
Nice. Yeah, I took the kids fishing this year for the same reason. It's like you become like a outdoors man when you're faced with COVID. What else are you gonna do?
To do, you know, you got to find something to get out the house.
Yeah, we didn't catch anything.
Yeah, it was rough for us too, man. We were in a drought for a little bit.
Yeah. So your dad and your uncle, everybody still around? Yeah. And they're proud?
Yeah, at first, which, you know, being a fighter, it's like, at first the family's like really against it. You know, they all gave me problems. I don't say like problems, but especially not my uncle. My uncle's like, he supports me in everything I do. He's one of my biggest supporters that I have, my uncle.
That's awesome.
But my dad, my mom, they all gave me, it was all tough at first because, you know, they don't want to see your son. They want, you know, just to do something more comfortable, like get a job or go to college or go to a union or something. And at first we butted heads, but, you know, I didn't really care about their opinion. I just kept it pushing, and I'm here.
Well, if you did care enough to quit, then obviously you went into it. I
probably wouldn't be here. If I cared, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, it's not an easy career.
No.
It's definitely not easy on your body, right? So if you care about somebody, you being okay 100%, you know, without worrying, obviously it's not an easy thing. But they're proud in the sense of like they wanted you to box, like they're into it.
Yeah.
Because MMA is different. Are they into MMA as well? Do they watch MMA?
They're into it more so now than ever because I'm fighting. But at first, they didn't care too much. You know, my he's way more into boxing, but they're starting to understand MMA because, you know, that's all I watch.
I had to get my family into MMA like a couple years back. Like
even my uncle still doesn't. He like I'll get a takedown in a fight. He's like, why the fuck are you holding them down? Like I'm winning the round here, you know. My dad, but my dad's starting to understand it. He's starting to understand it. So it's good.
It's really a cool, you know. I got into it. I said it a million times before, but I got into it because boxing was kind of getting a little boring.
Yeah.
and even still, I don't know half of the shit that happens on the ground. But I can understand the beauty of and the skill that it takes to do a lot of this stuff, which is super admirable. But my family, who I got into it a couple years back, like now that's all. Like we used to get together for all the big boxing fights. Yeah. Canelo's fighting, you know, whoever at that level. But now it's like we get together for MMA just because it's so much more fun of a sport to it. You know what I mean?
Just been putting fights on every weekend, you know, so it's like something to do.
And it's stacked cards. Like there's so much good stuff to watch. So I didn't know. So explain to me the amateur CFFC situation, because I didn't know that was. So is that part of the same, like the pro shows, or how does how does that work?
It's their amateur it's the same, pretty much the same thing. It's just an amateur fight. I mean, there's the amateur rules, which they're different than the pros, but they treat the amateurs like it's
within the same show.
Yeah. So it's just on the prelims.
So you wouldn't even know the difference, really.
It's CFFC does it, and it's crazy their production and the show that they have. Like I only fought for them once. I was at Parks Casino, but I've been, like, I'm close with Rob. I'm close with you know, everybody there. I've been in the back for multiple shows. Their production is it's like UFC level. It's crazy. Even the lights when you're in the cage, like, man, you feel like you're a star. I remember in the locker room at Parks, like, when we got there, they have like this little digital thing, like right outside the locker room. It had our last names on it. And it was just our team in the locker room. We had like couches, showers. It was the crazy.
Real deal.
Yeah, it's the real deal. Yep.
So you know, we talked about how CFFC makes fighters comfortable with the UFC at a pro level. So that's kind of, I didn't even know that part. So like now you're talking, if you're part of that show, even as an amateur, dude, you're prepped for the UFC.
Plus you're fighting on the cards with the pros. I remember that card. There was Sabatini was the main event. Kyle Dawkins fought on the card. Guys that are in the UFC now. So, but
they're seeing you too. So you know what I mean? Like they don't have to hunt too far.
No.
They see the high, you know, caliber fighters on those shows, all the way from amateur to the level where they can get the phone call last minute, like Sabatini to jump into the UFC, which is awesome. So those fights this weekend, did you watch them?
Yeah, of course I watched. Had to watch.
What did you think?
The main event, I thought that's kind of what was going to happen. I watched it with my coach Daniel, who kind of knows Burns because he's from Brazil and stuff. And he was saying that the first round, 2 rounds, Burns is going to be really explosive, and that's when he could finish the fight. If it got to the later rounds, then Usman's going to win, because that's kind of how he wins the fights, his pressure and his cardio. But that is how I saw the fight going. I thought that Usman was going to get the finish. He's a dominant fighter. People sleep on him, but man, he's good everywhere. You know,
I let out a bit of a when Burns got him with the right.
Yeah, I mean, I thought in them first 2 rounds it could have went either way. You know, whoever landed the bigger shot or got that shot that connected and put him out. But I thought if it went into the later rounds, 3, 4, 5, that Usman was going to win.
Usman really is that good. You know, I have said that he bores me a little bit. I stand behind that, because I don't mean it in a, you know, I appreciate the effort that it takes to be a fighter. So it's not like they're a boring human being. It's just like any sport. Like some teams sometimes just bore you in a game. So in his case, you know, the way he looked against Burns was as good as anybody in a, you know, who's a striker.
Yeah, and people also don't. He can be boring, you know, but people don't understand like the caliber of people that he's fighting as well. Like what was one of his more boring fights against Masvidal? With people were, when he was foot stomping him and shit. But when you're fighting Jorge Masvidal, he's a dangerous fighter. Like he'll shut your lights out any second. So people, even if you've never been in a cage, you don't understand, like, when you're in that cage and you're standing in front of somebody that can shut your lights off just like that, you don't want to be, like, in the danger zone, like, the entire time. And in that situation, he did, I feel like he did what he had to do. But he can be a boring fighter. I'm just a fan of martial arts, so I enjoy it no matter what.
Yeah. I think, and it's really not that they're not doing the work, you know. It's, as a viewer, it can feel boring because it feels safe. Yeah. And we don't watch fights to see anybody play it safe. Yeah, you know,
that's very true.
Not that you want to see anybody get hurt or that you want just blood, but you want somebody who's pushing the pace. You want somebody who's putting it out on the line. Yep. The reason the Trinidad's were so is because when the guy was hurt, he was just dying to run from the corner and jump on the guy. Yeah. So when people play it safe, and the whole foot stomp thing is something that's criticized a lot.
Sucked. I think I was falling asleep.
There's a couple of those that you're like, did I stay up for this?
It's boring to watch as a fan, but I understand
Of
it.
course,
You know,
of
I
course.
understand it.
Well, then he does fights like these, and then you're like,
or the Colby
he's
Covington fight. After that fight, you can't really talk
That
about
was
the guy
insane.
anymore. That was probably one of the best fights I've ever
Never
watched.
once try to take him down.
No.
Yeah.
They were just slugging it out the whole time.
Yeah.
It was a great fight.
Anything else stick out that from that
Them
that
cards.
card?
Who else fought?
Macy Barber
Macy
for
Barber.
Grasso.
That was a good fight. I feel like people also didn't give Grasso her respect. She's a very
like
good
Grasso.
fighter, and she went in there and got the finish. She looked sharp as hell with her striking. And
I
did
picked
she get the
Grasso. I think
finish?
Rob Hayek didn't pick Grasso.
I thought I didn't. Maybe I don't think I picked anybody for that fight, but I definitely thought that was more close than it than they.
Grasso's
perceived
a
it to be.
very skilled striker.
Yeah,
like
very.
she
was sharp that fight. Too.
She looked sharp. She hits hard as hell for her frame too, because Macy Barber looked like she had dude.
Yeah, she fought Jamie.
Yeah, no,
and
no.
they were saying that she looked ginormous in the cage compared to her. I wasn't on the team for that fight, but
she's a big girl.
Yeah, she's
for that
huge
class,
class.
and she hits like a truck. So, but Grasso, I think, just showed the levels of striking and being sharp and that. Type
Don't
of
think
thing.
that should have been the main event or the co-main event.
I know.
Though. Maybe Gaslam. That's a high level fight.
Love
but
Gaslam.
it's the chicks they sell. You know.
Yeah, well,
they sell.
So Gaslam and Ian, I picked Gaslam on that fight. I wanted Gaslam to win because I like him a lot, and I think he's had some fights that have pushed him back, obviously. But the level of fighting that he showed against Izzy just goes to show you how good he is as a fighter.
Yeah.
So he played it safe, not safe, but he played it safe and intelligently. I thought he wrestled instead of being all striking. And I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, same.
You agree?
Well, I definitely agree. I'm not against wrestlers at all. Like most casual fans, they just want to see MMA fighters bang. But I come from a wrestling background, so a wrestling in a fight or good transitions in grappling, I enjoy watching that just as much as I watch two people, going shot for shot. I enjoy that type of stuff. But in Gaslam's case, wasn't he on like a 2-fight losing streak, 3-fight losing? So he had it was for him. It was just going in there and getting a win and getting back in that win column.
Get the confidence back.
Yeah. So.
But it was cool that he got the confidence back in a skill he's usually not showing.
Yeah.
Because you look more well-rounded. You feel probably better about yourself because, hey, I can finish it obviously on my feet. I can, because his last fight, I think he lost because he got
I don't even remember.
It was something with his leg.
Something though.
Yeah, but it was like in the first round in a couple seconds, and he was like, seriously,
Who else was on that card?
So we had. I gotta cheat.
I remember Simone and.
So Ricky
good scrap.
Simone, who I've called Simon forever, but apparently it's Simone, versus Kelleher.
Kelleher's a CFFC guy.
Yeah.
That was a good scrap. I enjoyed watching that one. Who else?
Simone's good, and he
Good wrestler.
his last loss was Faber, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he got finished with Faber.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah, he's got a very high level wrestler.
And he went up in weight, I think.
Yeah, that was at 45.
Yeah. So he used to really kind of shred down for his other fights. So maybe that was a good. Oh, okay. And then the first fight of the main event was Cuban Missile Crisis. Is that what he's called? What he calls himself?
The big guy?
Marquez versus Maki. Who Maki's a CFFC guy, apparently. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I remember that fight, man. I was tired. We were sitting there just like, come on, I just want the main event to be here.
Well, what my takeaway with that was, so apparently Marquez hadn't fought. He was very inactive, and he goes in there, he fights, he wins, he pulls it together because he looked like he was going to possibly lose. And then he calls out Miley Cyrus for Valentine's Day.
Did you see Miley Cyrus respond?
Of course.
She
He's got to shave his chest.
Yeah.
And then he responded back, only if you get the Cuban Missile Crisis over your belly button like Tupac.
Really?
Hashtag thug life. That was funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's the type of thing that it's silly. It's
get your followers.
But
up,
get
man.
your followers.
Get you a fan base.
Yeah, especially when it's innocent like that. It's not anything negative or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's fights coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Fight night.
Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis, right?
I love.
Yeah,
Derek.
the main event for that is my
Lewis.
teammate Pat Sabatini. I don't really care about anybody else. I was just
know,
seeing him go in there and get the finish.
Yeah, and Chris Dawkins fights.
Oh yeah,
I think,
Dawkins
in there
fights.
too.
So I would
So
like to see that.
There's a lot to watch.
I'm mostly excited about Pat.
Dude.
He's been kicking my ass every day for the last year.
I try to reach out to him. See, we had talked about getting him on, but I try to reach out. I know, super last minute.
Yeah.
I'm very considerate for you guys needing time to focus on fighting and not come on shows, but still, I gotta try.
I think he leaves like today or tomorrow.
I figured. But do you know any background story on how he got the call and what happened there?
So he's been ready to get the call for like probably a couple years now. But no, I think they just called. I was at the job. We were at Team Taino's.
Okay.
We were all doing jiu-jitsu there, and Rob was there, and Pat was teaching the class. He was teaching jiu-jitsu, and then Rob called him over and was like, "There's somebody on the phone." And I guess it was Shelby or somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know who it was, but yeah, he was like, I guess he asked him if he wanted to fight. And then he stepped on a scale. He was like, "Yep, I'll take it." And then that's
What a cool moment, man.
Yeah, man.
Are those the type of things that pump you up?
Yeah. Well, he's not the first person that I've seen get called to the UFC on our team.
Okay.
I was there when Jeremiah Wells. He got called when we were down in Mississippi. I was on the team when Brady got called up. So I've been seeing guys get called up. But yeah, it was pretty cool because me and Pat are tight. Like he's became one of my closer friends on the team. All quarantine. I'm trying to think. When did the quarantine start? March?
Like March, yeah.
So at first we weren't training at all. But then it got to like, it was me, Daniel, Coach John, and then it was just like me, Pat, and then maybe like one other guy, like my teammate Will.
Just working together all the time.
Yeah, and then it was just like direct attention on us. And like Pat he's a high-level martial artist. You know, he's not just a MMA fighter. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got a black belt in karate, I think. He's a high-level sambo guy, Division I wrestler. So that's somebody that...
a huge arsenal.
Yeah, he can teach you. You'll never be able to stop learning from him. He has so much knowledge on martial arts and then Daniel and then Daniel Gracie and then our other coach John. It was just like, that was probably one of the best times of my life. Like in 50 years, I'm gonna look back on that
and realize who you were with and what you were doing.
It was that, honestly, the quarantine was, I loved it. I loved it. You know, I got so much better. It was great. You know, I loved it. But
it's almost like you had complete focus on just what you were doing.
I was actually a little bit sad when we went back to the regular training because like I was learning so much. You know, we were going live sparring, like wall MMA, just, and with Daniel and John, just like literally just telling us every single time, every round. So it's, you can't not learn when they're sitting there coaching you like that. It was
a super high level of training right there.
I would love for it to go back like that, but I mean, I doubt it will. But
so as far as like being a Philly, Jersey type fighter, is that something that also kind of motivates you?
Yeah, so that's another thing with the kid Christian. He represented Philly, South Philly, and his fan base was like, it was jumping. Tag him in this too, because I've done a couple podcasts and I haven't really brought his name up, but he's a high level boxer.
Let's get him on here, man.
I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would.
Both of you can come on.
But so the Philly thing, Philly fighting is just, you know, it's notorious in the world. You got Rocky, you got Eddie Alvarez, who comes into the gym with us every once in a while. And I'm not from Philly, you know, I'm from New Jersey, but I would love to like have that crowd behind me, that Philly fighting crowd, and
like nothing else.
The history behind it, it makes it a little bit sweeter, you know, being from this area and being able to, like, I can't say I'm from Philly, but I can say I'm fighting out of Philly, you know, and our gyms are in the trenches too. Like EFC it's on Kensington Ave, you know, it's in the trenches. And there's crackheads right outside doing drugs, you know?
Baby,
but it's, Coach John knows how to work hard, and he's got the right mindset. And him and Daniel and Jonathan and all our coaches we're gonna be a super team. We're gonna be like one of these.
I can't wait for you. Right, like
we already are start. You should see the sessions, man. There's so many people in there now. It kind of sucks, you know, because there is so many people. Yeah. But we got our core group.
But it'd be cool when it's like recognized.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
AKA
be
and all those places. But I'm trying to think of what is it? High.
There's so many. Sanford. There's American.
But what's the Izzy one? The high.
That's City Kickboxing, I think.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna be like that.
That's kind of one of the ones. Yeah.
Yep, because we got Brady in the UFC now. Sabatini, Felder, if you want to count him on our team. And then there's just so many of us like that are amateurs and early pros that are gonna be fucking good. Like we can have a lot of chance. Like I really think we can have like 5-6 champs in the UFC. Like,
well, Jonathan was saying that like even the young guys who are like it's.
Yeah, I'm like one of the young guys. You know, I'm probably the youngest guy on our team that's a fighter. Yeah. I can't think of anybody else that's as young as me, and I'm probably the least experienced too. But I'm pretty high level too. He spoke
very well of his young team.
There's so many. There's Miles Lee, he's a savage. He was a really good wrestler. He gets finishes. There's me. This guy James Lyons I think he's like 8-2 or 10-2 with 10 submission finishes or 8 submission finishes. Will Tucker, he's a solid striker. I don't know anybody else that I can think of off the top of my head, but it's a huge list. So many guys that are like gonna be we're gonna be in the UFC and making a noise.
I want that. I can't wait to hear that credit being mentioned, you know, by the Rogans or by the people, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Bringing up the gyms and how you guys have obviously been putting into work for a long time in order to get to that level. So real quick, who do you have between Blades and the Beast?
Probably Curtis Blades, just because he's more well-rounded.
Yeah.
But you know, puncher's chance.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
I like the Beast, man. I'll take him on this one.
Another solid thing. I want to touch on this too, just because there was a couple of points that I wanted to bring up when I was just thinking about coming on. My manager, he's from Tajikistan. It's Discipline MMA. Tag them too.
Okay.
He's doing big things for our team. You know, he's partnered up with CFFC and Rob, and there's so many fighters from overseas, like Tajikistan and places that most people probably never even heard of, that are literally savages. Like guys that would knock me out cold. Like I can't even say their names because there's a lot of them, and their names are like foreign as hell. But there's so many guys, and they're coming over soon. There's a couple of them that are coming. They're going to be fighting on CFFC cards, and they're going to be training with us. And these guys they've been doing martial arts since they were like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Over there, that's their national sport. I think MMA
everything.
is their national sport. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's one of their like big sports. So all them guys have been doing it for years, and they're all going to come train with us, and we're going to pick their minds. And this guy connects with MJ. He connects with like Habib's like team and Habib and people out in Dagestan, and it's going to be good.
That's important, man. Bringing those guys over here. And
he's going to help build this super team, and we're going to have knowledge from all over the world.
Well, it's like the guys who would go to Thailand to train over there for a little bit and kind of gain a lot of the grit that those fighters, a lot of the shin conditioning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. He's doing good things for our team. He's helping us out a lot. Helps me out a lot too. You know, great guy.
And that's your manager, you said?
Yeah,
okay.
He's my manager, but it's not really. We don't have like that type of manager relationship. And he also has this, like I was saying, it's like a family type of thing.
Yeah.
It's not manager.
Good
fighter.
interest in you.
Yeah,
not
it's
just...
like it's we're friends, and he's really close with like Daniel and John and everybody too. Like Saturday, we were all together watching. We were at Daniel's house watching a fight.
Yeah.
So it's not like a typical relationship that, you know, a fighter has with their manager or
which is good because at this point you don't have to worry about like are you getting tricked into a bad negotiation or a bad you know what I mean? You can kind of focus on what you do best and let them handle everything else.
Yep, that's very true. Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Anything else you want to chat about? I mean, I think we've covered a good amount.
Not that I can think of. Anything you got?
No, man. I really wanted to kind of get to know where your last name came from.
I don't even know where that came from. Man. I told you a little bit before, but
it's cool to have you on, man, because I think, you know, I'm doing the best I can to get this show to you know, I think it can be.
I think so too.
You know, at whatever level.
Who was I? I was talking to somebody about your show, and just like your social medias and everything looks very, very like well put together. It doesn't look like a little rinky dink podcast. You know, it looks like a high level podcast and you've had nothing but high level fighters on. You know, I'm probably the weakest link you've had so far.
Listen, man, don't
I'm not. Trust me.
But see, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
So I don't know. The internet world's weird. I don't know. What I do for a living. This is not what I do for a living. This is what I do because I really do enjoy it. So what I do for a living is creative stuff. So obviously I know the highest level of, you know, video, you know, and all this other stuff. So I try to put together a really good product, and I'm hoping that helps take it to another level. But the fighting, the guest aspect, like I would love it if 5 years from now, people say that you, who are now in the UFC and everybody does know you, one of the first, and like a local show.
Yeah, that's why I'm always willing to come on podcasts and talk to people like you. A lot of people are like real shy about that type of stuff. They don't like getting in front of the camera. I understand the aspect of growing your like social media and growing your following. And stuff like this is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I think we all need it. I mean,
but I know people on my team that aren't really like my one friend Manny Morales. Tag him in this too, because his dad is always messaging me, telling me get on them about, you know, so because everybody sees that I really take. Not that I like social media, but I take it serious. I actually fucking hate social media. If I deleted my Twitter. I you know, if I could delete Instagram and everything, I would. But I understand that you need it. You know, like especially in this sport, you can, if you grow a big following, you grow big followers, and you get fans, and that's how you're gonna sell tickets, and that's how you're gonna, you know, sell merchandise. That's how you're gonna make money. So I understand that part of it. But this man Manny, get on your shit, dog. Come on the show, because he don't like doing this type of stuff. He don't like posting pictures and stuff, But his dad's always messaging me, telling him to like get on his grown and stuff, because it really helps. It opens doors for you that, you know, having 200 followers, it's not going to open it, you know?
Well, it's controlling who you present yourself as too. You know, you have complete direction of your image at an early stage. Yeah. So, you know, you can be real trashy with it and put whatever you want.
That's another great point, actually.
Or you can really care and post quality photos and post quality, you know, content and stuff like that. But it's hard, dude. It's definitely especially hard. for me with this thing. Like, I wish it was as easy as everybody who sees your stuff repost it.
Yeah, people
tags
will never
it. People
understand
don't
that.
do it.
Even in anything, that's in anything in life, and fighting and what you do. No one sees what's going on in the background. They're only seeing what I'm posting on my social media. They don't see, you know, they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that you're putting in, or the hours that you're staying up late, you know, to make this show good, or for me and to, you know, build my fighting and build my skills. They don't see that. They just see what you're putting out there, and that is what sucks about social media, because it's like, for me, for an example, if I just fight, I have thousands of people in my messages liking my pictures, commenting. Yeah. But this year layoff that I had, where I'm coming off a loss, nobody wants to show me love. Everyone. Right. But that's part of the game, you know. Yeah. There's ups and downs, and you gotta understand that, and just keep consistency is always the biggest thing for me. Yeah. If you're consistent with anything, it will pay off. And working hard. If you're consistent, and you work hard, in the long run, whatever it is, it'll pay off. So I'll give you a little insight into, which I don't think I've ever spoke about, but like, this is not what I do. You're welcome to the fans for getting the inside. No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody digs the kind of the work that goes, you know. I'm sure somebody's into production, or somebody who cares. Yeah, exactly. Someone wants to start their own podcast, and they get to see. So I'm a big fan of podcasts. Like I listen to them every day. I actually don't watch many podcasts. I listen to them on Spotify and whatever, Apple, iTunes stuff. But when I started doing this, I wanted it to be at a very high level, easy to access, all this stuff. But it's a video podcast. Yeah. It's a lot easier if it's audio. Yeah. Video podcast, not only do you have to have a space, it has to look good. Yeah. You have to have multiple cameras, right? Microphones, everything. And the whole deal. It has to sound good. It has to look good. Mm-hmm. Well, so then now it's getting a little bit of traction, which is great. But the hardest part is connecting with you guys, reaching out. People dismiss a lot of, you know, and I get it. Who's this guy just randomly, kind of reaching out? But so that takes up a lot of time trying to connect to, good people to have on the show. So then not only that, but then you shoot the show, and then you got to edit the show. So I do all this stuff myself. Nice. So I edit the show. So I'll probably edit it tomorrow or at some point. I work for I'm busy. Not counting I'm not your here. Day job. So I'm busy. I got 2 kids. But I love this thing, so it's fun. I'm not complaining about it. But my point being is that, so it takes the shooting, it takes the editing. That's all easy. That's all fun for me. Mm-hmm. However, then you post it, and nobody's going to see it unless you jump on it and you go on social media, and then you drop some clips, and you get people to retag you, and then, it's so. And then you got the haters that are like, oh, this man's always posting on social media, blah, blah, blah. Dude, blah. I hate tagging people. It makes me feel needy. I don't want to do it. But I want people to see it and hopefully share it, so you have to. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, these people, like, I am not in the place right now to be bothering anybody. Yeah. But I feel like I am, so I feel bad if anybody feels like I overtag them. But so you got to post this stuff, make it interesting, make it look pretty, make it look consistent on social media, so it feels to a certain level. Yeah. And then hopefully people like yourself here take it, repost it, share it, and then you slowly, gradually build somewhat of a following. But anyway, my point being is, I think it's cool to have a local show that's hopefully at the highest level, or we're gonna get there. And it's the best podcast I've been on. Every podcast I've done, I'm on the phone, recording on my phone. I got a podcast on YouTube where I'm out in the parking lot about to go fishing, sitting in my car. So and your studio is sick. Everything in here looks good. And then on the video it looks good as well, and the cameras are good, the microphone's good, everything is sharp, and I enjoyed watching the podcast. I watched the one with Rob, I watched the one with Sean, I watched the one with Jonathan, I watched the one with Jamie, and they're good podcasts. I enjoy it.
I mean, I think you guys have such cool stories that we can hopefully share and people enjoy it
too. There's a bunch of stuff that and I've only been fighting for. I had my first fight, I want to say 2019. I think it was 2019 in April. Yeah. But it's been a crazy ass ride just, the past 2 years of my life, and I'm still only an amateur, and I'm about to make my pro debut, but people don't know all that all that work that I put in. Yeah. At first when I started fighting, nobody thought I could be a fighter, nobody. No one that, and at that point, I wasn't even really close with the people in my gym. My friends were still people that I went to high school with. Yeah. My ex-girlfriend's friends. That's the type of people that I hung out with, and they laughed at me. My first fight, I think I went in there and cracked the guy once, and I just wrestled the entire time. My second fight was pretty good, but at first no one believed in me. And that's how it's gonna be. Like, I'm sure for you, no one believed in you at first. Yeah. But if you just keep fucking going, keep putting in the work.
Well, somebody made a comment or post. I forget who it was. It was something about being like fair weathered. What, I don't know. Basically, what I took away from it is I've done a million things in the past video wise, and some have gotten to wherever, but others haven't. And what I took from that was cool was you don't want to do something when it's convenient. Yeah. Because if you really want something to work, right, you got to do it even when it's hard. Yeah, when it sucks. So when it sucks, right? So then I kind of took that mindset and I've applied it to a lot, but especially to this show, because it's so easy for me to say, I don't like really being on camera. I do it more to have the conversations, right? But it's so easy for me to be like, I don't have a guest this week. Maybe I should just, wait till next week. Or, it's fucking ice outside. Cold as hell. It's going to be impossible to get there. Yeah. I got a million other things I got to do. And being like, let's just bail on this week. Yep. But now you can't, right? Because if it was easy.
It's crazy how you can just like connect anything in life. Like our fields are absolutely nothing like, what is it exactly that you do? Like, what is it called?
It's production. It's video production.
But production, like, and well, I guess it does kind of correlate because, you need production in MMA, but like,
no, but it's two different.
All the examples you just said, like, it's too icy outside. That snowstorm that was when it was fucking coming down, I could have sat my ass inside. And this is another point I'll bring up after, but I could have sat my ass inside and played Xbox all day with Christian, and that's who I game with. But I could have sat my ass inside, but during the pouring snow, I got my ass to the gym. There was probably 5 of us in there. I got my ass there. When I wake up in the morning, today actually I woke up feeling like shit. Monday, I got to go to the gym. My stomach was hurting. I just wanted to go back to sleep. But what did I do? I got up. I made myself a good breakfast. I meditated. I took my supplements and stuff, and I got to the gym early, and I got a little extra work in. That's the type of stuff that makes champions, or that makes successful business or successful production or anything. And not too many people are willing to do that. When people start to feel like tired, or like Monday morning when people are tired, a lot of people will just hit snooze. Go back
it's funny. I never even thought about the Monday thing. So for some odd reason, I decided to record these on Mondays.
I love Mondays. See, I tell everybody
it works
I love
because
Mondays.
It sets you up for a good week.
Yeah. See, I tell everybody. Everybody always looks forward to the weekend. Everyone works till Friday, gets off. They get fucked up on Friday. Go out again Saturday. They're all hungover Sunday, and it's like fuck. It's Monday. I hate the weekend. I like Saturday because we spar and then we usually go out with the team or something. Man, I hate Sundays. I literally sit at home. My coach, I get yelled at. I was pretty overtrained like 2-3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Everybody was yelling at me. Sean Brady was texting me, yelling at me, stop training as much. Everybody. But them Sundays, now it's like they make me, like my coach will call me like 4 times, like, yo, you didn't do anything today, right? I'm like, yeah,
they want you to
I'm
chill.
Sitting here. Yeah, but I don't like doing that. Like I hate the entire day. I'm just sitting there, like not doing anything. Like I want to, and I enjoy being at the gym. So it's like,
right, that's your life.
Like I want to
it's almost like you have.
I hate the weekends. I look forward to Monday because it's like, all right, another week of training. Then Saturday gets here. I'm like, fuck, now I got to sit here and be bored until Monday. But that's what people say. Like when you love something that you're doing, you look forward to Mondays. You're not dreading that Monday. You're looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we'll continue to do these on Monday and releasing them throughout the week. At some point, I hope to be able to have a day for release every single week. It's just kind of hard right now.
Yeah,
because,
I bet.
but
you gotta
it's like,
edit it and all that shit.
Sometimes it's just right. How much time do I have to put this?
But I mean, you've been getting them out the next day.
I've been trying to be consistent with it.
I noticed.
I'm trying to sharpen up the workflows to make it that way. Yeah, so I completely changed the way I edit it now. and I actually even switch softwares and everything just to just really kind of nail down the format and crank them out as soon as possible. So I also give it a week so people can watch it before the weekend.
Yeah, they good podcast.
It's a work in progress, man.
Yeah, it's good
we'll
shit.
get there.
It's good shit.
So the goal is to keep on getting you guys to come on, and
I'll talk to some teammates. I can get him in.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell my coach John, that
we need him on.
Doesn't know, man, he'll kill you. You think Deshaun was your funniest? He's the funniest.
Let's get it
guy
on. Call him out right now.
John, get on the fucking podcast. I already told you once. Get on here. Get on here. I told him I was showing him your Instagram and everything. I was like, yeah, Rob even got on,
Yeah.
And he's real tight with Rob. We're all real tight with Rob because he comes into the gym and everything. He's been at the gym all week with Pat.
Yeah.
With the UFC and everything. But I've been telling John to get on. Like, he does a good podcast. But John's the type of guy, he doesn't care about the exposure. Like, he doesn't care about.
It's not even about the exposure. It's about the fun conversations, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
he would enjoy that. But I told him to get on because you do a good show. Like, I've shown him your Instagram and how everything's like nicely set up, everything looks official, and he was like, man, I don't give a fuck about exposure, like, I'm just here to make you guys good, which that's good to have, but it's of course you can get paid, motherfucker. Get on the damn show and start getting your name out there.
Yeah, listen, I think that's perfect words to end the show with. So, John, get on. Everybody else, get on.
John, get on. I'm not playing with you no more.
All right, appreciate it, brother.
Wait, is it still recording?
Yeah, go for it.
That's for somebody he knows who he is. I'm not gonna say no name. But when he watches this, he'll know.
Damn, I gotta figure this out then. All right, brother.
My man.
Appreciate it.